So, last month I've been playing a lot of Internal Return, been playing a lot of ranked duels with my friend, and we reached top 100 NA. This video is going to be all the things I learned from top 100 NA and tips that you could use to improve your duel gameplay. Number 1, weapon mastery doesn't mean shit in duels. Sounds surprisingly, but weapon mastery doesn't become a huge factor in duel fights unless you're facing against a team that has like 5 level weapon mastery against you. You shouldn't fight them. Usually it's not going to be the case. Usually it's going to be 1 or 2 levels, and honestly 1 or 2 levels doesn't really change that much of an outcome in a fight. In duels, usually the team that gets to pick, or the team that just plays a better team fight, usually is the team that comes out. Doesn't matter if you have lower weapon mastery or not. A reason why weapon mastery is not that useful in duels is because you could make fights become a 2v1. In a 2v1 situation, weapon mastery doesn't mean anything in the 2v1 situation. You have 2 people on top of 1 person. There's no way you're ever gonna lose, even if they have 2, 3, higher level weapon mastery than you. This becomes a case of better team fighting, where if you focus the right target with your duo partner, you can insta burst someone really quickly, and the fight just becomes a 2v1. Another situation is where, let's say you guys are bush cheesing. If someone face check into a bush and you're playing Yuki Adela or something, and you have like a huge fat burst combo, they're not gonna survive even if they have that fat 2, 3 level of weapon mastery above you. It really doesn't matter if your team just burst them with 1 fat rotation. So yeah, weapon mastery doesn't really mean that much in duels, so you shouldn't be scared to pick fights. You should, go in and pick your fights even though you're down 1 or 2 levels, because you're confident in your skills and you could probably get a pick off and make the fight become a 2v1. Number 2, Converge Zone 2. This is a term that my friend told me. Zone 2 Converge. So pretty much your first zone, you could do whatever you want, get your stuff in your first zone, but in the second zone, you and your teammate should be grouped at Zone 2, both with weapons. Why would you want to group in Zone 2? It's because if you're grouping in Zone 2, pretty much your team controls that zone as long as another duo does not come in. If there's 2 people in that zone and you guys both have weapons, you just straight run to any person that's by themselves and you just kill them, because it's a 2v1 and you both have weapons. Even if he has a weapon himself, it's still a 2v1. So it's pretty much free kills. Free kills means free OP, free placements. So yeah, definitely group up super duper early when you're playing duels or squads. Grouping early is really OP. And yeah, that is it about Zone 2 Converge. So number 3, building off Zone 2 Converge is plan similar routing. Why planning similar routing is good is because you guys, first of all, will be grouped as always, and being grouped obviously means that you won't get griefed and you could be doing the griefing. So if you guys plan similar routing, take similar paths, you guys could build items together, hit power spikes together. One guy would not be like having 1 item and the other guy would be having 5 items. One guy would not be like, yo, I can't grief, so please don't pick any fights. So yeah, if you guys are building together, you can hit power spikes at the same time, so you could fight when both players could fight, which is really nice. So yeah, if you guys are grouping together the entire game with your routing, that'll be super duper nice. Obviously, not every save plans are gonna have literally the same routing path, so you have to play around with that, make your own custom plans, see what goes well with your partner and what goes well with their build. Speaking of builds, we come up to the next point, which is please do not contest the items your teammates are building. If your teammate's building a radar and your build has a radar, it's gonna be pretty bad. Let's say you guys both found a build. They have literally the same pathing, except maybe Zone 1 is different. And then next thing you know, you guys hop into the game and then realize that, holy shit, I can't get any items. Well, this is because you look at the build and you guys have 5 of the same items, except the only thing that's different is the weapon. This is really, really bad, because if there's any other players in the lobbies that are going, let's say, your radar build, you guys are going to have a very contested zone. And that zone is going to be super duper grief, because someone is going to end up with 0 items, and you better hope it's not your team. It's okay to teleport to another zone as a team together to grab the other guy's items, but don't grab items that your teammate needs in the same zone. This is going to put both players behind, because you're literally yoinking items from each other. Don't do that. And yeah, so you guys have to find good builds, good custom builds, any type of builds that don't contest items, group up super early, and path together as a team. Pushing lead is probably one of the things I didn't know until I reached to the higher ranks. Usually what I was doing in the beginning in the lower ranks, get a few kills, and then I start trying to make a lot of food and, get fish and chips. Fish and chips, pretty overrated, not gonna lie. Fish and chips is good, but when you're super duper ahead and have a lot of kills, what you should be doing is pushing your lead, and instead of making food, you should be going and hunting people down. Early game, teleporting is fine. Late game, you shouldn't be teleporting into other teams. What I like to do is, when I'm super ahead, instead of going for food or going for items, I would just TP into, random zones with my duo partner and hopefully find people and just kill. Because that is honestly the best way to clear out lobbies and, push your lead super duper ahead. Because if you're heli dropping on top of people, most of the time when you're ahead and you have like 4 kills already, your weapon mastery is gonna be like 3 or 4 levels on top of players that are still trying to build your items. You probably have 2 items more than them because you killed 4 people, so they should have items or completed parts for you to just equip. And yeah, at that point of the game, you just start snowballing your lead. You start wiping the entire lobby, and then there's gonna be no competition against Wick and stuff because you cleared the lobby so early. There's no one left in the game. You just gotta kill Wick and find the last few teams. So yeah, you gotta find ways to push your lead and learn how to close out games, get first place, and get that fat OP gain. Next up, we have sacrifices. Yes, in duels, there's gonna be griefers, all right? There's gonna be griefers. There's gonna be people trying to be fucking with you and your build, taking your items, stuff like that. And it is up to you and your partner to decide who is the one that's gonna sacrifice their routing, their build to help the other guy get his items. Because grouping is super duper important. If you guys are both going separate paths and both trying to go separate builds, you guys are gonna both run into maybe a duo that doesn't have that much items, but they have 2 people, and you're gonna get caught out. One person is gonna die, the other guy is still crafting his items because he's behind. So yeah, one person definitely needs to make sacrifices for the other guys to get their builds. It's okay to be the one that's giving. As long as your teammate could protect you, it's fine to get carried and let your teammates drag your ass all the way to the finish line. So, there is 2 types of hunting, in my opinion. One hunting is hunting for weapon mastery, and the second one is hunting for items. Unless you're Nadine, hunting doesn't really help you that much to boost up your damage. Hunting is really nice way to close a small gap in weapon mastery or like catch up in weapon mastery, but in no means is that is gonna push you to like a +4, +3 weapon mastery on top of other players. So hunting becomes more of a game of getting good items. In the higher elo games that you're gonna start playing once you get better, you're gonna see that literally more than half of the lobby is gonna have mithril armor, because mithril armor is freaking ridiculous. Mithril armor gives you so much stats, it's insane. It makes you super duper tanky, sometimes gives you nice cooldown reduction and all those other nice stats you could get. So yeah, mithril becomes really important. VF blood also drops from bears, so you don't have to kill Wick in order to get VF blood items, which is also pretty insane. Then you could get Force Core, which pretty much drops from Wick, Don't have to kill Wick. RNG some monsters off a bear. You get your force core. Really nice. Hunting early game. If you hunt and kill a bear like 5 minutes of the game and you get a force core, holy hell, you should win this game. Because you can make auto arms, all those insane force core items you could just make, and the advantage is literally such in your favor that you should not throw this game. At that point, you should be so strong that no one in the lobby could be able to contest you. And yeah, after that, you should snowball your lead because you just got your game off of hunting. The main point to take from this is that you shouldn't be hunting the entire game and avoid fights because you feel like you have the need to close the weapon mastery gap. It's really not that much weapon mastery that you really get from hunting. It is really nice, but fighting players is the best way to farm weapon mastery. All right, even if it's poke damage, even if it's just hit and run, hitting players and getting to fights is the best way to farm weapon mastery. And hunting is usually just to help to get food, get those good gacha items like Mithril, VF Blood, and Force Cores. At the end of the day, remember to have fun because it is a battle royale game. There's so many variables you can't count into. Sometimes people do make mistakes. But importantly, at the end of the day, keep a good relationship with your duo partner or the people that you play with in general. Because if they're pretty salty at you, you know, synergy is not going to be good. And if synergy is not good, you're not going to win that much games. So yeah, remember to have fun, have good communication with your duo partner, and gain those OP. Hope you guys enjoy, and I'll catch you guys on next time. Peace.